Okay, that one is recording, and now I gotta do more. Record.
Recording in progress.
All right, welcome everybody. This is the start of the fall to 2022 semester for statistics with Professor Jones. That's me. My name's David. You can call me a lot of things: Dave, David, uh, Hefe, boss, teacher, prof, professor, Mr. Jones. There's a lot of things. I'll answer to just about anything as long as I know you're talking to me. Let's go through some things. This is going to cover three different classes, 1630, 17147, and 17148. Two of those are classes that do not have a support course. If you are in class 17147, you have a support course, and I'm going to go over the support course material at the end of this presentation. For now, I'm just going to choose 1630 because it's the top one, and the content looks the same for all of them, except for the support course material. When you come in, you're going to see this view right here without the pink border. It's going to land you on the modules page. Ideally, this is what you should be going through the first week. I'm going to start doing lecture videos or a class like this on Tuesday next week. We'll start actually doing lectures on mathematics, but I'd rather you guys go through this orientation module before that. There are some things that are very, very important. Since this is an online class and it's a little hard to take roll otherwise, I would like you to at least make it to introduce yourself by tomorrow night at midnight. Click on introduce yourself. Read through it. I give an example of what I'm wanting. I just want you to introduce yourself. You can share as little or as much as you'd like, but at least say, hello, this is my name. That way, that is my proof of attendance for the first day kind of thing, so I can register you as in the class. Otherwise, I have to mark you as a no-show. So I'll do it through Wednesday, tomorrow night at midnight. I probably, I'm not going to be up at 1 a.m. Checking this stuff, so if you manage to get in Thursday morning before I do it, that's probably fine. Otherwise, if you risk it, you wait till Thursday. So just try to come in, say something, hit reply, and you'll be able to see the other replies after you've posted yours. In fact, after Wednesday's over, I recommend you come back and go through the replies people have given just to see what other types of people are in your class. Okay? Let me start you off with, before we get into too much details, a little bit about me. That way you know the instructor you're dealing with. I think it makes it for a better class time if students know something about their instructor. And I know I'm not alone in this. There are other teachers that do something similar, but not enough in my book. So here's a little slideshow that's about me. That's me. I've worked at NASA. In fact, I got my first gig with NASA while I was a student here at COS. I'm a former COS student. I came to the school in 2008 to 2011 or so. I came back for computer programming. I was doing accounting before that. I wanted to learn computer programming. I wanted to make video games. I wanted to build games like World of Warcraft. And I had a bad experience with a teacher that wasn't very good at the time. It was an adjunct or part-timer that I don't think was the best teacher at the time. It was rare. I always have had good teachers at COS. But I got turned on to mathematics, and I followed that. I am a dog person. I have nothing against cats. I've got plenty of friends that have cats, but for me, I like I like to be greeted when I get home. With a wagging tail and how are you, not like the cat that walks by and goes, oh, you're here, that kind of thing. That is not my dog. This is my dog. His name is Astro. He's a teacup Maltese. He's 7 or 8 now. He just went blind in the last year or so, so he's bumping into things, but he gets pampered quite a bit now. Very cute, very like a little white teddy bear. I like superhero stuff. I like Marvel better than DC. There is some good DC stuff. Superman's been pretty good. The Wonder Woman and Aquaman movies were pretty good. Marvel, I like Iron Man the most. Star Lord, I like Star Lord a lot. They're pretty funny. Groot's funny. Black Widow, she's hot. Captain America, let's face it, he runs around with a medal. He's a frisbee golf player. Not impressed. I know some people are Captain America fans. We can discuss the merits of that later. I do like superhero content or shows with people with powers, like this show, The Boys. This is on Amazon Prime. I like this show a lot. It's like the Justice League from DC, except what the Justice League would really be like. If you've never seen The Boys and you don't mind a little bit of violence and cussing, this is the show for you. Homelander's my boy. I like reading. I like reading fantasy and science fiction. This is the logo for Wheel of Time. It's recently been adapted for Amazon Prime. The first book has. I don't care for the adaptation that much. I think they did a lot of stuff really well. Some of the stuff has just changed too much. I'm gonna watch it a second time because I felt that way when Star Wars came out with Jar Jar Binks. I was so mad that George Lucas made that film with Jar Jar Binks, and then I watched it a second time and I loved it. So I'm hoping I like the Wheel of Time the second time I watch it. I love fantasy reading, stuff like that. I like watching comedy shows on TV. Big Bang Theory. I'm watching Cheers of all things right now, and Scrubs. I've if it's a comedy show, I like it. Yeah, I like laughing. Laughing makes me feel good. I'm not much on the whole horror thing. I don't know what people find enjoyable about being scared. This is from World of Warcraft. I am a gamer. I like to play a lot of games. I have not played World of Warcraft for a while. This was the Lich King. Uh, Big reason I bring it up here is to let you know that I am a gamer. I do like online role playing games and stuff like that. But I actually used my game time with World of Warcraft in an application. When I was applying for NASA, it asked for leadership experience, and I couldn't think of anything except World of Warcraft. In the very first game, they had two dungeons. They were called Molten Core and Blackwing Lair, and you could get 40 people together to go in on a raid. And I was selected raid leader. And for the first, we'd meet on Saturdays. We'd play for 8 hours every Saturday. The first month or so, we couldn't get past the guy at the front door. The bouncer was kicking our ass. Uh, but within 6 months, we had every boss cleared. There's like 9 bosses. We had every boss cleared in under 2 hours. We could wipe through the whole dungeon and clear everything super fast. And I thought it was a pretty good feat because it's 40 people I can't see. I can just talk to them over a microphone on a headset. And I know about 20% of them were high because they would hold down the microphone button when they were hitting their bong. So I could hear the bong rips go off, and I'm like, okay, that's good. They'll be productive. But they were. The ones that smoked pot knew how to smoke pot and play games together. I grew some respect for them. I did use that experience to get hired and work at NASA a couple times. The first summer I worked for them, both times were in Mountain View, California, which is right near San Jose. It's the headquarters of Google, also. This is Ames Research Center. This is called Sustainability Base. It's kind of like a mock-up of a moon building, except it's on Earth. It generates all of its own electricity with these uh, solar panels on the roof. There are also sensors for heat and wind up there. And rather than using air conditioning, it keeps the building cool by either sensing the flow of air around the building and automatically opening without any human interaction the windows so that it gets a nice flow of air that doesn't disrupt paper through there. Or it also pumps cold water from the ground up through the building, and the cold water kind of like absorbs the heat in the air and it goes through pipes. It's kind of neat. No air conditioning. The building operates all itself. It recycles 98% of its water. So it'd make a great moon building. Generates all of its own electricity. It's a really cool place to work. But and that's why they have they have planets in the background, because it could, with it, when you stopped opening the windows, this could be a mock-up for a moon building. The second summer I worked there, it was in the aeromechanics branch. Aeromechanics governs flight. At Ames Research Center, they have a massive wind tunnel. It is 80 feet by 120 feet long, and it's wide enough to hold a Boeing 747. And they put the 747 in by literally lifting it up on a crane and opening up giant doors on the side of the wind tunnel and putting it in sideways. And then they have these giant fans that blow over it, and they can simulate the flow of air and try to test different things. As you can imagine, moving a plane or different types of things like that can be expensive. Fabricating new wings and stuff like that can be expensive. This is a helicopter blade. Helicopter blades are slightly curved. They have this teardrop-like shape. The round edge points into the direction of the wind, and the pointy end is like the backside of the rudder. Well, blade, rotor blade. And they can change the elevation of this blade. It's called the angle of attack, like to make it tip up more or down. And we were testing different types of blades, widths, teardrop shapes, what type of shape was best, that so it would give the helicopter the most lift while reducing the drag. Like you want more green here and less red. This was pretty neat. It was on a supercomputer at NASA, so I had to learn the programs for supercomputer, how they deal with supercomputers are really just a connection of a bunch of regular computers. And so Pleiades out there, it takes up an entire building. They got servers and servers and servers connected together. And the projects would take a really, really long time, but they would generate the results, and we were testing that stuff. So that's what I did for NASA my second time I worked with them. It led me to let me rewind a bit. So I went to COS. I studied applied mathematics here. I got an AA in mathematics and physics, and I transferred to UC Merced. It was brand new at the time. Michelle Obama had just got done speaking at a previous graduation or a previous ceremony, and she was the first lady at the time, I believe. It was a pretty big event. UC Merced was pretty new. So I went there. I turned down Berkeley. I chose Merced. Merced had newer stuff, newer faculty, faculty that cared. And then when I graduated from UC Merced, I had a 4.0 and I went to UC Santa Cruz. At UC Santa Cruz, I studied applied mathematics and statistics. I was there for my doctorate program. I was studying solar flares. So this thing is a solar flare, like inside the sun, where you see the little ropes of, looks like lava coming out of the sun. Those are solar flares. And they rise up to the top because they have a different pressure than the fluids or the star matter around them, the plasma around them. And some of it's caused by the magnetic properties within the sun. So I was doing that for, 4 years, maybe 5 years. I was a year away from my PhD, and I just got tired of doing it. I was also using a supercomputer at UC Santa Cruz, and it would just take 8 hours for the program to run, and most of the time it told me no, it didn't work, and without showing me anything. I didn't even get this image. This image is the flare rising up over time. When it starts, it's low. There's a lot of stuff in the middle, and as it rises up, the stuff on the top gets pushed down on the left and the right, and it makes these little eddies, these whirlpools underneath as it rises up. The stuff on the top gets pulled down underneath it, so this shows it rising up over time. It's different time-lapse stuff. It was neat. I think working at NASA was really neat. I think working in astrophysics was really neat. But it wasn't something I wanted to do long term. When I was a student at COS, the dean at the time asked me, since I was a tutor in the MyMathLab and the MESA program, he told me if I ever wanted to teach, I could come back and apply and he'd find me a job. So I stopped my doctoral program a year short. UC Santa Cruz gave me a year to decide if this is what I wanted to do. They would have reinstated me quickly. In fact, they called me after 362 days to make sure that this was still my decision. I came back and taught part-time for a year at COS, and after that, I was hired full-time. And I've been teaching here since 2016. But it all started as a COS student. So I've studied astrophysics. I've worked at NASA. Uh, some fun stuff like that. I like food. If you, when I take this off, you'll see a picture of me a little bit better. I'm a big guy. I'm overweight. I like food. Uh, I like Starbucks. In a normal semester, when I was teaching in person, I would do study sessions on the weekend at Starbucks, and I still might do that using Zoom this semester. If anyone is interested on the weekend, like spending 2 hours talking to, helping students. I always like asking this question in person. There's always an eager person to answer when I ask who this is. And inevitably, they say Darth Vader. And that's when I tell them to get out. This is Lord Vader. Uh, I'm not a Rebel Scum follower. I think Darth Vader is way cooler than Luke Skywalker. Luke Skywalker was whiny and kind of sucky. Darth Vader was awesome. This is from one of the later Star Wars, the most recent ones. And it says the moral of it is Yoda's telling Luke, I told you to teach what you know, and all you taught was how to do stuff well. You didn't teach students how to fail. And that's how he ended up with Kylo Ren. Uh, you will make mistakes in this class. Don't give up. Try it again. There's a good chance. This happens a lot in stats. When you're doing the program, the homework, and you're entering the numbers, there are rounding mistakes you can make. And if you round the wrong way or put the wrong number of decimal places, you may have done the whole thing right. You just rounded wrong, and the problem is not going to tell you. They're just going to say you got it wrong. And I can't tell you how many students have came to me frustrated, thinking they didn't understand. They told me that they thought they were stupid, and when they showed me their work and I showed them what the answer was, they laughed. Like, wow, it was something simple like that. All I did was round it wrong. You will make mistakes. Don't give up. Keep trying. That's the only way you get good at something. Very few people are good at something from the beginning. I can't tell you how many problems I've missed in statistics and mathematics in general uh, to get to the point where I'm at now. As you've seen, I like Star Wars, so of course I like The Mandalorian. This is the way. Good show. Little Baby Yoda is the best. Grogu, I think that's his name. I told you I like playing video games. I grew up on Nintendo. This is Metroid. I got that's loaded in my Nintendo Switch now, the latest Metroid. I haven't played it in a few months because I got involved in one of the other games I have right now, which you'll see in a second. But I like Metroid, Super Mario, Zelda, stuff like that. There's Zelda. I played Zelda on the Switch. If you've played Zelda and you played the downloadable content, the DLC, there's 120 dungeons. I have done 119 of them. I've done everything except one dungeon and killing the final end guy. And I'm like a completionist. I like to do everything in the game. So I couldn't find the 120th dungeon. It turns out it only shows up every 2 or 3 hours. It's during an event called the Blood Moon. If you played Zelda, you'll know what that is. And I didn't want to wait around for 2 or 3 hours for it to open. And I didn't go kill the end guy. So I've actually never beaten this game, despite all the time I've invested in it. I need to just go back and do it. Zelda was fun. I have several PlayStations too. I have the PlayStation 3 is in a box. PlayStation 4 is in my living room. This is the VR for the PlayStation. I've gotten a little bit sick playing VR games, motion sickness, and I've bought some stuff to help me with that, like bracelets that are supposed to help, but I haven't used them yet. I'm like, I got too many games to try. I have a PlayStation 5 now as well. I got lucky. I got with the pandemic. Everybody's staying home and they were selling them online, but you had to get up really early. So I'd set my alarm for 3 a.m. and just followed Target. I think I got mine from Target. It's Target or Amazon. There was a guy on Twitter helping people like coordinating feeds and figuring out when they were going on sale. So I got PlayStation 5 is the point of it. I buy most of my games on Black Friday. I prefer to save my money, not pay top price. This is one of the games I did pay top price for, Elden Ring. I was playing this through most of the spring semester. I beat it right at the end of the spring semester, and I was going to go on and play some other games, but I didn't play anything over the summer because became like a Discord junkie. I got addicted to Discord. I was researching cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency seems like it's going to be the future, and I didn't want to be one of those dinosaurs, even though I'm older. I don't want to be a dinosaur that gets left behind. So I spent some time learning about it, joined a crypto community, and I'm pretty popular there. They call me Professor Hefe. It's called Lunar Crypto. If you're interested in crypto, I can show it to you later. But that's what I've been doing all summer. I did beat Elden Ring. I did it where I beat and played all the endings. So I did all the content. That was rough. I'm sure they've added. I know they're adding DLCs for this too. Elden Ring's fun. This is my type of game. Dark Souls games. They are very punishing. The first Dark Souls games I played was Dark Souls 2, and I think I died in maybe 30 seconds, 45 seconds, getting too close to the edge. I walked over to the edge to try to like look over, and I fell off. And the game gave me an achievement for my first death, and it was like, "Oh, fuck you! I'm not going down like this." And so I got hooked. It took me a while to learn how to play Dark Souls well, but I love the Dark Souls game series, and Elden Ring is one of them. Also like Witcher 3. That was a fun game. I had 120 hours logged doing everything, all the quests you could do, and then I even started playing the hard mode. I did that for 4 or 5 hours. Then I thought, why? I've got a stack of unopened games that I bought on Black Friday for $20 that I still want to play. Why am I spending so much time on Witcher 3? I've already played through all the content. Good game, good TV show too. Superman is also Henry Cavill is also The Witcher. It's a good TV show. I gotta see if it's coming back on soon. It's been a little while. I like watching John Oliver. I have HBO Max. He's entertaining. He's funny. But he shares a lot of good info. I like him. I loved the Lucifer show. I saw the first episode of Lucifer before it was even aired. I won't tell you how I acquired a bootleg copy of the first episode, but I saw it was before it was aired. I'm like, I'm gonna love this show. I was so sad when it got canceled, and I was one of those people that went on to Facebook and social media and hashtag Save Lucifer to get Netflix. Netflix brought it back in. Happy with that. This is Dexter from Showtime. He's a blood spatter analyst for the Miami Metro Police Department by day and a moral serial killer by night. That was a good show. Had 7 seasons, and they did an 8th season like a decade later. Game of Thrones. If you haven't seen Game of Thrones, it's worth the watch. I read all the books before they started doing the show, and then the shows passed the books. The author stopped writing them. He was like, I got a cash cow here. I liked Game of Thrones, except for the last season went too fast. I'm a Survivor junkie. My wife and I watch this together. We've watched all these shows together that I've shown you so far. I've been married for 18 years. This last April was 18 years. I found out about Survivor when I was doing accounting before I came to COS as a student. I worked in a department with 8 women at the Diocese of Fresno. It's like the headquarters of the Catholic Church in Fresno. It covers 3 or 4 counties. It's 120 churches. It covers a lot. I was doing accounting there. One of the first seasons of Survivor was men versus women, and the girls all wanted to bet, and so I took that bet. I don't even remember if a guy or a girl won, to be honest. I just got hooked on watching the show, and my wife and I have been watching it ever since. I like Survivor. It's my guilty pleasure. This was what I was binging this summer, Umbrella Academy. People kept telling me how good it is, and I agree. I like Umbrella Academy. I like Five, the little one in the middle, and Seance, the dude with the bow around his neck. Those are my favorite characters. Umbrella Academy is pretty good. I'm hoping they bring back a 4th season. I like the Pixar animation movies. I actually know one of the lead designers that works for Pixar. I am, in addition to going to NASA, when I was a student at COS, I won the Jack Kent Cook Scholarship, which pays for like basically the rest of your college, including grad school, if you go for it. And I managed to get lucky. At the time, you had to get selected by the school to apply because they can only put 2 candidates through to this national scholarship. And so this COS made us compete. They like picked the top students of the school, said, "Get your application ready. We'll judge you and send on the two we like the most." And I gotta tell you, there was 2 essays to write that were not personal essays. Another third essay that was a personal essay to write. I had to go get financial information from my parents. I was almost 30 years old at this point. Uh, I had to go get financial information from my parents that I had not lived with for over a decade. My dad, who I'd never lived with, had to get his financial records. It was a hassle, but I got it. I got the scholarship. The first scholar I met was an animation person. He did a lot of indie films and stuff like that. He got hired at Pixar. He's now one of the lead guys at Pixar. So I like to brag about that. Like I know someone at Disney and Pixar because I think it's pretty cool. I know he thinks it's cool that I've worked at NASA and I'm super good at math. I think it's cool that he does stuff like this. He has stuff like on Pixar on his Facebook all the time. It's great. So if you can apply for this scholarship too if you keep your grades up. I'd be happy to help you to give you advice when you're going for it. You don't need a 4.0, but the higher your GPA, the more likely they are to select you. Part of the reason I went to graduate school because I wanted to be Dr. Jones. I wanted to be Indiana Jones. This is one of my shows that I like. The first movie and the third movie were great. The second one was all right. The fourth one with the aliens, garbage. I hear they're making a fifth one. I hope they don't mess it up. And if you don't see the threat here, you're already dead. The Velociraptor. I love Jurassic Park. If you hear me say, if you attend the classes and you hear me say "clever girl," it doesn't matter if I'm talking to a guy or a girl. I am referencing this scene right here, saying you were pretty clever with whatever you've just said. I do it all the time. I liked all the movies. I like the new ones with Chris Pratt. I like Back to the Future too. Also, these are way probably beyond most of your times. Some of you might be older students though, and have got to see Back to the Future live. This is from a reference to, well, first off, Skittles, Taste the Rainbow, but it's from Dungeons and Dragons. This is Tiamat. I play Dungeons and Dragons on the weekends with friends and on Monday nights. I play on usually on Saturday or Sunday, and then on a Monday night with a different group of people. I like D&D. I'm that kind of nerd. Tiamat was a 5-headed dragon. She had 5 different heads. Each head has a different color, and each head does a different type of like breath attack. And so had a lot. This is my way of saying I'm a role player. I like rock and roll. This is the logo for the Rolling Stones. I listen to a lot of music. More of it older. I haven't listened to new music in maybe the last 5 years because I've been busy teaching and doing teaching stuff. Been focusing more on my how to be a better teacher, spending my time doing that. Don't cheat. This is probably not going to be that applicable to you with Photomath and Socratics with the way the programming works. There are apps that might help you, but a lot of these are word problems here. The biggest thing in statistics, you're going to find that most of the problems here are word problems. And I don't know why, but people hate word problems. That's how we are as a society. I don't know why. To me, word problems are actual real life problems. So it's like math that is actually applied to something, and it makes sense to me. It just takes more work converting it into equations and stuff like that. But that's my job is to help you learn how to do that this semester. Learn how to pull the information you're looking from a scenario, a situation, and run some statistics on that. But just don't cheat. I'm here to help you. Having said that, everyone can get an A+ on the final exam. You can all get a really high grade I'm not one of those teachers. You see it on TV shows, and I've heard about it in like higher universities where they only let out 2 A's. If you all earn an A+, you're all going to get an A+. My dean's going to look at me and wonder why I'm letting so many people through, but maybe I'll just get lucky. I will have a good batch of hardworking students. It's I will be here to help you, but it's gonna require some work on your part. And one of the big differences between you and me, because I went here too, I have failed more problems than you've even ever tried in mathematics. I've done math so wrong so many times. Uh, it's just mind-boggling how many I've missed. But through error, you learn. If you take the time to learn from your mistakes, don't get frustrated and just give up. Figure out what went wrong, what you did wrong. If it's a rounding error, you will do rounding errors a few times, probably a lot. I still do it from time to time. As a teacher, I've trained myself to always check for rounding every time. But as a student, it's easy to overlook. The program will also ask you for different numbers of decimal places. Sometimes it's 4, sometimes it's 3, sometimes it's 6. And sometimes they change it within a problem. There'll be like part A wants 4 decimal places, part B wants 3. Or even A, B, and C want 4, and then part D wants 3. And you're so used to doing 4 that you do 4 on D, and it says you're wrong. Learn from it. Make sure you're paying attention to the mistakes you make. If you can't figure out what the mistake you made is, because I think they show you the correct answer after you're done. If you can't see that as a rounding error or something like that, you can always ask me. I'll show you the different ways you can ask me. There's a lot of ways to contact me, but I will help you learn. That's the end of the slideshow. That's me. This is who you're getting, a former COS student that's come back to share. I learned when I transferred to a university that at universities, the professors there are there to do research as their primary mission. They do research for the schools. That's how universities get funded, by grants for research. Teaching is like a second time job for them. It's like part of the job they have to do. They're really there to research. And so teachers are hit and miss at a university. At a community college, everybody that is here teaching wants to teach, and they're not here to do research. So you might find a bad apple here or there, or that's just a bad teacher. Every once in a while, one slips through. Or you might find teachers that you don't mesh well with. Like if you are an adamant, I don't like cussing whatsoever. I cuss. I've been trying to tone it down, but I'm a teacher that cusses. I try to treat everybody like adults, and so I may not mesh for you. But overall, COS teachers have been better than most university teachers I've had because we care. Most of us care. That's been 40 minutes. Let's take like a 5-minute break, more on the lines to stretch and let my throat relax for a second. Is there any questions at this point? You can unmute yourself or use chat if you want. Unmuting is easier, but students don't like doing that often.
Well, I have a question.
Yes.
Are we going to be having a test after every chapter? Or
No.
is it going to be a midterm test and a final test, and that's it?
There's going to be a midterm and there's going to be a final. I'm going to be using MyMathLab for the homework and the midterm. The final is going to be in Canvas. You're going to, in the process of taking this class, you're going to learn statistical software called StatCrunch. Most jobs that you do where you have to do statistics, they have you learning one form of statistical software or another. They all do pretty much the same thing. But this isn't a class on software, so I make my final. I give you the answers from StatCrunch on the final. And I just tell me what the statistics mean here. Walk me through what the outcome is. So I do my final in Canvas so that no one has to worry about statistics or the computer software along the way. For the final, midterm, you need it. But just 2 tests. And I'll show you where you can see when they're going to be. We'll have that coming up. Excellent question. Give it another 3 minutes. Stretch a little bit. I'm going to try to be here as often and as much as possible and available to students. Right now, my mom is on her 6th day of not eating or drinking anything. She's 80 years old. She's in hospice. And they think she's going to pass away anytime. Maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow, sometime in the next few days. School is too important for students. I'm not going to miss any of my classes for this. Students rely on the teacher to be present, so I'm going to be here. But during the other hours, like this week, I might be busy and only available during my office hours this week. Generally, I make myself available. If you email me or text me or hit me up on Discord and say, I could really, I don't have a lot of free time. Can you chat with me right now? I will hop on Zoom with you. I've done Zoom as early as 6 a.m. On a day that I didn't have class till like 3 in the afternoon to help a student that only had 6 a.m. in the morning to do it. Martha asked if she can turn in work early. Yes, you can. It is set up so that you can see all the assignments ahead of time. I want to say, though, if you are one of those go-getters, Martha, or anyone else that's interested in doing this, if you get so far ahead that when you get to the test, you don't remember how you did shit, you might want to spend that week before the midterm reviewing all the stuff you did. If you work ahead and you're one of those people, in fact, I recommend this to everyone. Write down the problems, not like using your phone, taking a picture. I bet most of you, once you've taken a picture of some text or lecture on the screen, you've never gone back and looked at your phone to see what it said, what the pictures were. So I suggest writing out like the question, or at least what the data had, and writing what you did so you can see what you did later on when you're looking it up. But you can work ahead. In fact, part of the reason I make it available like that is everyone has events in their life. There might be someone else in one of my classes that has a parent that's dying this week, or a loved one that's ill. You might be a parent and your child gets COVID. You might be a child and your parent gets COVID. Or the monkeypox or whatever the case may be. Something happens. If you're working ahead, you have that gap. And I have been known. We have weekly due dates. I have been known near midterm to open stuff back up. Or if you have, a medical reason why you need something a little bit longer, giving access. But for people that have trips like, I can't tell you how many times a semester I get a student emailing me like from Anaheim on Friday night saying, my family, we're all going to Disney. We've been planning for this for a while. So I'm not going to get my homework done. Can I get an extension? And I'm thinking, you knew that it was planned for a while. Why didn't you just do your homework early? That's why I make it early and make it available early. I did not relax my voice during that time. How about that? All right, let's keep it going. Okay, so what you will see, this is the screen you'll see when you come in. The class for 17147, the one with the support course, has one more thing in here that says Khan Academy. I'll cover that later. That's the support course. The beginning stuff is stuff to read. Introduce yourself. Definitely need to do this by Wednesday. Tomorrow night at midnight. And at the bottom, you should be able to just click next. Once you've done the task, click next and it should take you to the next assignment. This is a fun little 4-minute video about someone that decided to be a major in math. Because I'm sure there are several people probably in this Zoom right now that think I'm a crazy motherfucker for becoming a math person. So she talks about being a math student, and it's kind of neat. It's only 4 minutes. It's pretty good. Then there's an assignment. The first week we're not doing any math. We're going to make sure you got the right mindset. You're tackling this class in a good way. You have an assignment on learning a new skill. I want you to answer 3 questions. You do not need to tell me what the skill was. In my example, I tell you what the skill is, but you don't have to tell me if you don't want to say it. But I want you to tell me what it was like while you were first learning it, when you didn't know how to do it, what it was like after you gained the skill, and what it was like once you're very good at it or a master at it. And my example is not mathematics. When you read through it, you will see I am talking about driving a car. So you'll tell a little story. The point of this is to make you realize that most of this stuff you learn for the first time isn't easy. Math isn't easy. Neither is learning how to play the fiddle, slam dunk, throw a perfect spiral, paint a good picture. Anything that you want to do, everything's hard when you're learning how to do it. Math is too. Don't get discouraged. Then after that, I keep moving this. Where's my... Oh, I got some replies already. Awesome. This is a great video. I've got a reference. I wrote it down. It's written down somewhere in my room right now. I gotta find it because I might add another video this next semester. This is a talk by Laura Vanderkam on time management. It's 12 minutes long. Watch it. It's really good. She does a great discussion on time management. A lot of the times, one of the hardest things for new college students is learning how to manage your time. It is not like high school. So if you're coming in from high school, or if you haven't been in school for a while, this is might be helpful for you. And after that, there will be a little assignment to do. I give an example of me talking about what I gained from it, and I've included stuff that this is from this summer, updated for this summer. I was telling you guys how I've been on the Discord group for lunar cryptocurrency. In fact, after this class is over and I eat dinner, I'm probably going to go back in and chat there again because I'm turning into a Discord junkie. But go through it. Then there will be an optional assignment. They're worth extra credit. I think it says it on the next page. Did I miss it? Let me go back. Where is the mention? Maybe it's after this next tab. I might have changed the orders in a bad way. All right, so there's a couple of extra credit possible assignments. Clearly, the first one didn't make it here. So is that... I need to change the order of these. I'll change the order of them. This explains the extra credit assignment. One of them is to make one of those calendars. That's on one of the previous links. And so the calendar is available here. And they have like a week broken up into 30-minute increments or 15-minute increments. It's kind of cool. And like planning your time. If you plan your time for 1 week and see how well you match it, if you submit the calendar, that will be worth some extra credit, like how you're planning on like managing your time. And then afterwards, if you do it and you write a little like 1-page essay about it, I'm not an English major. I write well. That's how you can't get good scholarships without writing well. But I'm not judging your grammar. If I can read it, I'm just trying to see if what you learned from doing this exercise. It'll be worth extra credit in class to do the calendar and write about following that plan for a week, actually doing it. There is a little thing I want you to watch on academic integrity. You would be surprised how helpful this is. And you should have it. Oh, after you watch the video, it says tell us your thoughts. To do that, click on start assignment. To watch the video, it's right here. This is a link to the video. So click on Start Assignment to do that assignment. I'm literally walking you through the first week of orientation. This is where the good stuff gets. Zoom hours, coursework, and calendar of dates. Get that out of the way. So I'll be doing office hours from 5:30 to 6:30 on Zoom, Tuesdays and Thursday, right here. And then I'm going to be doing lectures from 6:30 to 8:30. You don't have to attend any synchronous content if you do not want to. I deliberately chose evening hours because a lot of people do day classes or work during the day, or they have a family, and the only time they have is at night. And so, but they like teachers. They like being able to ask questions. So I'm going to teach the material like a normal semester, and you can be here 6:30 to 8:30 Tuesdays and Thursdays, and you will learn it like a normal student attending a class. I will have office hours the hour before that. If you don't want to do that, I'm going to upload them as well, but you can go to YouTube, and there's a link to it in Discord, or not Discord, in Canvas. You can just type in Professor Hefe, and you will see my face. This is me. It says David Jones, and it even says I'm a math professor at College of the Sequoias. Click on it. I chose Professor Hefe because, let's face it, David Jones is a really common name. Professor Hefe isn't. Hefe is a fun story. It was when I was working at NASA. There was a guy that was from Puerto Rico. He was mobility impaired. He had a wheelchair most of the time. He could walk short distances. Had 3 daughters. We're going to NASA together. I'd take his daughters to daycare. He started calling me Hefe. I didn't know the word. I didn't have experience with the word, but Hefe sounded like heifer to me. Are you fucking calling me a cow, motherfucker? And he just laughed and he said, no, it means boss. But he always had like a twinkle in his eye when he said it, like I thought he was full of shit. And for some reason, I didn't look it up because I didn't really know how to spell it. Then eventually I asked someone else, not him, like years later, I asked someone else when it came up again. And it was true and I liked it. So I took it on. That's my name, Professor Hefe. That's my Discord channel or YouTube channel. So if you come here, you can see the playlists. Click on playlists. I do a Unity workshop for students. This is my Calc 3 class I'm building up. This is something I was interested in trying. But if you come to the right, you will see Math 21 Intro to Stats Spring 2022. I'll click that in another window. And if you come further, you will find Math 21 Intro to Stats. This was done before that one. There are 2 sets of playlists. I better pause that because I'm gonna be teaching myself. I have all the lecture contents already done. I've got 2 different semesters worth. I think I did maybe better in this semester, the spring 2022. The first one was like the first semester we were converted over from doing stuff online during the pandemic. This one was just last semester. And it's similar to what we're going to be doing in person right now. So if you do not want to attend synchronous content, you can watch the lecture videos. They're long. I know I get a lot of people, like in this world of TikTok, an hour and 42 minutes is a really fucking long time. It's not 10 seconds. It's not 2 minutes. But you can always pause it. Okay? Pause it. Come back to it later. These were actually just done in class. So like I couldn't edit it down to 10 minutes. Sorry. That's what you can do if you want asynchronous content. Synchronous content, be here at 6:30 to 8:30 on Tuesdays and Thursdays like you are now. If you want to meet with me for office hours outside of 5:30 to 6:30, get a hold of me. You can see here I've got my cell phone number. I generally have the ringer off. I have the ringer on right now because my mom is deathly ill, but generally it's off. But I check it, every hour and a half or so for texts. I check Discord quite a bit too, and I'll walk you through doing that. There's a link to it over here. But you can get a hold of me on Discord. You can get a hold of me in text messages. You can email me at davidjo@cos.edu. You can even do it down over here with inbox and do contact my instructor kind of thing. When you're working on a problem, there will be ways to do it in the problem. I'll show you that in a second. If you want to join my Discord server, just click that and come over and accept the invite. And since I'm already in it, it shouldn't have me do it. But if you never use Discord, just sign up. It's literally a chat channel. And I've got a chat channel for stats and stuff like that. A lot of people haven't been using it, but like the calculus students use it a lot. So if there's Discord students, people that like using Discord, this is a great way of chatting with each other, which with other students in my class. Like I have 120 students taking stats with me. They're all going to have access to this Discord channel. You're all doing similar problems. So I check Discord a lot. As you can see, the only reason there's messages here is because I've been teaching here for the last hour. Otherwise, it'd be empty. And I need to answer this question still. I'll answer that in a little while. Let's go back to Zoom or Canvas. I just got done showing you about the lecture content being asynchronous. If we've got like 5 students showing up to the synchronous thing, I will do classes. If there's like 2 students out of 120 that show up from 6:30 to 8:30, I'm going to use that as like extended office hours and teacher, please help me. And I'll have them work ahead of time. But if there's at least 5 of you guys here, I will happily do lecture content in person. If there's less, I think it's more productive for your time if I just have you watch the lecture videos, then you come to this thing and I answer the questions. Here's a link to that as well. You can also, as you found, get to me over here in Hefe's Zoom room as you got here today. The YouTube videos, there is a link to it here. Hefe's videos should take you right over to it. So you don't have to type in Professor Hefe and look for it. It will take you right to the playlist directly from Canvas by using Hefe's videos. Okay, I got lots of ways to get to it. But if you're on the go and you're like, I'm out and about and I don't want to load up Canvas, YouTube is easy to get to. Let's see. I talk about pausing the video. When you're watching the video, I strongly recommend you take notes. That way, when you're doing the homework, you can reference it. I will show you in all the lecture videos how to use the statistics software. Okay? So even if you're just taking notes on that, then you'll have a list of stuff like that. As one of you already asked, I didn't see you ask the question. Homework and tests. There will be homework. There will be tests, a midterm and a final. Midterms in MyMathLab, where all the homework will be. And I will walk you through getting to that in a second and how to use it and stuff like that. It does require an access code that you can get at the bookstore or online. We'll also be doing a project this semester. One of the announcements I gave you at the beginning, I'll go back and check it, had a survey for you to answer, asking some just general information. We're going to use the results from that survey to determine if you would be a suspect in a murder investigation based on your shoe size. So, kind of like some forensic science, how they do shit in forensic science using a statistical probability. I think that's kind of neat. Seems like a good project. If you scroll down to it on the Zoom hours, coursework, and calendar of dates, in fact, you can see that on modules. Scroll down, it says calendar of dates. You can come here and look. This is what is going to be due. Due dates will be on Tuesdays. So next Tuesday, all the Canvas assignments that we're doing this week will be due. Except for the extra credit stuff and the introduce yourself, which needs to be done by tomorrow night. Other than that, your homework for this week is just doing this Canvas stuff we talked about. Watching some videos, typing your responses, getting to know the other students, getting to know me. This will have the list of due dates. You will have, I guarantee, at least one full week, 7 days, between the last time I teach a subject in the chapter for when the homework's due. You have time to do it, even down, I think, with the midterm. 7 ends, and you've got 7 days, and then the midterm starts. And I'll walk over the midterm and that in a second. The midterm is going to be, I mentioned it for the student that asked, is going to be in MyMathLab. It is going to be made available, I believe, Thursday at 12:01 a.m. And it will be due on Tuesday. So it'll be made available the Thursday before this, Thursday, October 6th. It's due on October 11th. Once you click start, I want to say it's 2.5 hours, but I'll double check in a second. It's on the syllabus. Once you click start, you got to finish it. But if you can't find a time window within Thursday at 1 in the morning and Tuesday at 12 midnight, which is 5 full days to take the test, you're shit out of luck, as they like to say. Plenty of time. There's weekdays you can do it. Weekend you can do it. I made it available for everyone's schedule. In terms of what I'm teaching, you scroll down further, synchronous Zoom lecture topics by date. I'm going over the Canvas stuff right now. It says, I think last semester I didn't have the intro on Zoom. I think I will reiterate stuff on Thursday. Thursday's episode or viewing this week is going to be shorter. I want everyone to try to get into MyMathLab and stuff like that before then, if you're here. And we'll use that as a second round of like maybe what happened wrong. But then you can see the sections where we're teaching. Chapter 1 is relatively quick. There's no math. Chapter 2, I don't even think there's a lot of math in Chapter 2. Chapter 3 is where we start doing some math, some real math. And the dates of what we're doing are here. We will have a review before the midterm. So all this stuff, we'll review it. This says 4.1 and 4.2 we're doing on September 29th. It is not on the midterm. The midterm covers chapters 1, 2, and 3, 5, 6, and 7. Chapter 4.1 and 4.2 is a little less relevant to what you need to know. It's more of a pain in the ass than anything, but it is worth knowing. So I cover it, and because they use it in later chapters. But you can see the schedule. As we get down to where stuff gets a little bit more challenging, we will do less content each day so that we can cover it in more full and give you better examples. We will have time I will unveil the project on November 1st. And it will be due December 6th, so 5 weeks later. We will have Thursday, November 24th is Thanksgiving. But on the 29th and the 1st, that week after Thanksgiving break, we won't be doing lecture. I will have this thing open to help answer questions on the project and help you do better. Okay? The project is due on December 6th. The final, like the midterm, is available for several days. It's available on Thursday and will be due on Monday at midnight, and it will be on Canvas. The Canvas one I know is 2 hours. I've had students complete it in under 30 minutes. Because if you've been taking the time to learn the stuff, write down the stuff in these sections, do the homework, you will understand what the stuff means, and you'll do really well. Okay, let's go back to, let's scroll down and click next. What's next? Oh, homework and enrolling in MyMathLab. So let's take a look at that real quick. Each class has something different. So I do not want you to reference this video for the numbers when you're doing it. The 1630 class has a reference or an access, or not an access code. Yeah, I guess it's called access code. It's all of them say Jones, and then it's a 5 different digit number. I'm going to load the other courses real quick to show you that they're different. So don't just go by, oh, I got to leave student view. So let me go over to 17147. I'll be going over Khan Academy later. We'll come down to MathLab. This one is 27544. The other one was 28 something. And 17148. These are all the CRN numbers for this school. You can see their number is 16912. If you sign up for the wrong one, you're going to really fuck me up when I'm trying to grade it, and I'm not going to be happy. And an unhappy David, it makes for, being very judgy on grading. So you want David to be happy when you're grading, when he's grading. Make sure you sign up for the right class. Pay attention to your specific channel. I'll continue with this one now that I'm here. There is a little short video on how to register. I will show you myself real quick. But that's a quick reminder. First 6 minutes shows how to do it. There is a form you can download to look at. It gives you the instructions step by step, including a hyperlink to do. In fact, we'll do that one in a second. Where am I? Not that one. Oh, I gotta click back. There is a little video on how to use MyMathLab. This is pretty handy. And let's just take you over to it right now. One link you can use is MyMathLab link. This will take you directly to it. You can also type MyMathLab in the browser bar and it should take you there. I'm going to click on the link over here. Take you over. Actually, let me go back and write down the information I have real quick. I'm going to do a little dummy walkthrough of what I'm doing. So this says Jones 16912. That's what I'm going to use. Remember, your class depends on which CRN number you're in. So let's go just take a look at the sign-up process. So if you've already used one of the MyLabs in Pearson before, sign in. Use the one you have. Preferably, you're using the COS account. If you've never done it before, let's register. It'll tell you you need your email address. You need your instructor's course ID. That's the Jones with the 5-digit code we were talking about. I guess that's called the course ID, not access code. An access code is you can get from the bookstore, and I'll also show you, generally the cheapest way to get it is actually through Pearson itself, if you've got a credit card or debit card. So I'm going to pretend I'm a new student. I'm going to say I'm registering. It can be a pain in the butt. Sometimes it takes a little while. It's going to ask for the one I used. Remember, get yours from your specific class. I'm using the one I just saw. And I'm going to say register. And I'm going to say if you're new to it, let's create a new account. I am going to say, let's say I am Iron Man 2022 at giant.cos.edu. I kind of want to go by Iron Man rather than David J.O. That'd be awesome. That'd be fucking awesome. Or Professor Hefe at COS. That'd be awesome. I don't want to use the same username, so let's go with Tony Stark. Actually, yeah, use your real name for the username. Oh, it cannot contain special characters. My bad. Let's just go with Iron Man. Username is already being... Wow, there's already an Iron Man. Is there an Iron Man Fall 2022? There we go. There's no Iron Man Fall. So you'll need for some reason... Oh, yeah. Username is when you're logging in. Password... I don't know. Tony Stark. Let's do show. I'm not going to use this one, so I'm just making it up right now. Tony Stark 2022. It must have 8 or more characters, 1 uppercase, and 1 number, and I've got that. On your name, please use your name that shows up in Canvas. Even if you go by something else, please use that name. Because if you have the wrong name, I'm going to not know whose it is. And so that's a pain in the butt. If I don't know who to give credit to, it's going to be kind of hard to give you credit for the stuff. Select my role. I am a student. Select your level. They ask a lot of questions nowadays. I don't know when Iron Man was born. Let's say he was born, what is it, 08, and I guess we'll go back to 2000. Let's do that. I agree to the terms. I'm going to click create account. This is, of course, if you already have an account, you can bypass this part. Just log in. You do not need another account. I will click continue. Really? Oh, skip. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I'm sure. I don't want to. You should give your mobile phone. That because people forget their code all the time. All right, when you're getting to registering, if you bought the access code in the bookstore or on eBay or whatever you did, you can click it here. You can also buy it here directly. There are two versions, the full version right here or the 18 version right here. They give you the same content. And the class is 18 weeks. So if you know you're going to work hard enough to pass this class, save your money and get the $84 version, $84.99, so $85. If you're not sure, like you're like busy, you got a job, you got two kids, whatever the case is, and you're trying to pass it, but you're not confident in your ability to do so, if you buy this one, you have 2 years of using this class to do it, this access code. So if you take another teacher here that's using this book, and most of us are, you'll be able to do it again without having to buy a new code. If you do not have your money yet, check it out. Temporary access without payment for 14 days. If you get to this point and you're going to do temporary access, but you don't know when you're going to get paid, like 2 weeks, 14 days is August 30th. You might get paid on the 1st. Don't sign up for it yet. You already know we're doing only Canvas stuff through the 23rd, and you don't have any homework due in MyMathLab or in the MyMathLab homework. Let's come back down to the schedule. Oop, wrong one. Previous. The first homework assignment in MyMathLab is due September 6th. So you could probably register next week or 2 weeks from now, preferably next week to make sure you're in. And that way you make sure you have your paycheck before it's time to buy. Let's go back to here. But I'm going to say temporary access because I want to show you a little more of what to expect inside. Okay, I'll print the page as a receipt. You should. I'm not going to because this is a dummy account. Notice that they changed the username. This is important to know. I used capital I, capital M, capital F on Iron Man Fall 2022. They did all lowercase on the username. I don't know if that's going to matter when I try to log in. So make sure you write down the username they gave. Hopefully it does the capitals the same way. And when you're there, you can go to my courses. Once you've registered and you have access to the course, clicking on MyMathLab link and signing in will take you to the course. You don't have to do this registration again. This is what you get when you're here. If you've done the temporary access, it tells you when it expires and how to upgrade it. But for now, just click on the name. It has a little short video on what you can expect on how this program works. It's 19 minutes. It's worth watching. When you're ready to start doing homework and stuff like that, assignments is where you want to go. And it can be a little time taking to load sometimes. There we go. Okay, so it shows Hefe's videos. Chapter 1 is an assignment. None of the Hefe's videos are worth points. It just gives you a link to the YouTube. And I think this goes back to the 2022 version, or not 2022, the first time I did it. So if you want to use a different set, this is just a quick link to get to it. I recommend using Hefe's videos or go directly to YouTube. This is just a reminder of where to access the videos. I'm going to go back to assignments and walk you through. There's one for each chapter. I didn't do it by subsection. Let's pick one. Chapter 5's got some math in it. Nope. Let's do. It does, but I don't know if I want to do it. Let's see. See if I can find a question that looks pretty good. Give you a sample of what you're looking at. You were asking if you can work ahead. Look, you can work ahead. This says there's parts A and B on this problem. I will teach you how to calculate this probability. You can click here to go to the next question. Or you can click on the left over here. And I think you can also do a drop-down list with this hamburger, the triple hashtag, the triple lines. You can come over here. It will tell you which one you've done correctly. They'll be lit up in green. And which ones have either fully wrong or partially wrong, they'll be in red. And if it says 0 of 1, you probably haven't started it yet. Let's see. Oh, some things I wanted to show you. When you're doing these problems, look for this shit right here. See that little image right there? It looks like a window above a window. When I put my cursor over it, it says click to copy table. You will see this next to most tables. Sometimes you see it when there isn't a table because the table's pretty big and they didn't want to put it on the screen, and you still need to click it to get to the table. But you can click it to copy table, and you can either copy to the clipboard or open in StatCrunch. StatCrunch is the software we're going to use. I recommend doing that. So I'm going to show you that right now. It'll open it up in another window. It's checking my credentials. It makes sure everything is. And look at that. It loaded even the column headers. It loaded everything the same. This can save you a lot of time from transferring shit over. Some problems, they don't have it on, and you have to type it in, and it is a pain in the butt. And I'm sorry about that. That's just how data collection works in real life. But pay attention for it. This little picture of a window on window is pretty handy. In fact, let me draw an example of it. Bigger so you can see. It shows like something like this, and this is filled in up here with blue. And then it's got a little picture of a box behind it. Another box. Like open up another window on top of the current window is what it's showing. That's that icon right there. It's really small. Look for it. It'll save you time. Let's see what else I can help you with here. Oftentimes, the instructions on how to round are after it. It says, what's the probability the golf ball is not type A? Type an integer, which is a whole number, or decimal rounded to 3 decimal places as needed. If the number is shorter than 3 decimal places, as we'll get into, but I can draw right here. If the answer was 0.200, when all the numbers at the end are zeros, you don't need them. You should be able to just put 0.2, even though it says 3. That's only if everything after it is a 0. We'll cover that more later, but pay attention for that rounding. And decimal places. It's always going to round, but pay attention for the number of decimal places. It can change within a problem. This has got parts A through D. You don't see them right away. They only open them up as you're going. Let's see if there's something else I wanted to show you. You can see a lot of these are word problems with word problem answers. When we get on later on in the semester, you're going to see answers where there's 4 answers. 2 of them look identical except for 1 word difference, and the other 2 look identical except for 1 word difference. But each set of 2 is different from the other, and only one of them is right. This is a critical reading class more than anything else. You have to be patient. You cannot race through reading these problems. If you race through reading these problems, there is a great chance you're going to fuck it up. I know. I did it when I was a student here. Well, actually, I didn't get the MATLAB version. I had to do it all by hand. That you're getting the shortcut by using the computer. There are tables to do statistics with. Some students insist on using them. I can provide them if you need them. It's a pain in the ass to do this by hand. And let's face it, in today's world, people that are going to be doing statistics in a career have access to a computer, and your employer does not want you doing something by hand that takes 2 hours to do by hand, 5 minutes to do on a computer, especially when there's a good chance you're going to screw up a single digit rounding somewhere and get the wrong answer if you do it by hand. So they're going to want you to use a computer. So it's a good idea to start learning about it now. Let's see if there was something else I wanted to show you. Check lower. There might be, as they come up throughout the course, I will point them out. But definitely check for that window thing that says load the data up. Another way to get to StatCrunch when you are in this program, like when you're working on the project and stuff, you can actually just click on StatCrunch over here. And if you just want to, very rarely do you need data sets from your textbook, you can just click visit the StatCrunch website. You have free access to it with purchase of the MyMathLab program. The survey that you guys answered or are going to answer, I did it in StatCrunch. It's one of my surveys. And so this is another way to get to it. So another way to get to StatCrunch. Let's see. So those are assignments. You can see there's one for each chapter. You can work on them as you're going. You don't have to wait through all the lecture content. If we do sections 5, 1, 2, and 3, and you want to start working on those, I think the problem tells you which section it's from. See, this says 5.2.31. This is telling me this is from chapter 5, section 2. It's problem 31 in their textbook. So if you've done 5.1 through 5.3, you could answer all the questions that say 5.1 through 5.3. So you don't have to do all of the questions at once. You can start a problem and come back to it later and work on it. If you do a problem wrong, you can restart it and do it again. Unlimited until you can get 100% on every problem if you're determined to put the time in. I've had students do that. I thought it was crazy because some of the problems get to have parts A through H, and they can be a little bit long. Chapter 5 doesn't have that kind of thing as much. Some of the other chapters have really long things. If you miss F on A through H, they went and did the whole problem because they give you new numbers. You can't just use your old work. They will give you a new set of numbers to do to start from fresh. At any time, if you want to see how you're doing in the class, you can click on Gradebook. And it will show you what you have attempted. If you haven't done anything in any of the work, haven't opened anything, it's going to say you've got 100% because you haven't tried anything. So I will get students asking me this. I had 100% and then I did homework and I was down to 80%. Why do I want to do homework if it's lowering my grade? Well, if you don't do the homework, you're going to get a 0 on it later on. It will not give you a 0 until after the work date is passed. At the end of the semester, any homework sections you didn't do, you're going to get a 0 on. So even though it may not show it in the beginning, it's hitting your grade. So make sure you're paying attention to that. You can see your grade though here. It gives you, an idea of how much work you've done and the type of scores you're getting. I've got 0% on this assignment, 100% on that one. I can look at tests separately, the midterm. You can come see how you're doing. There is also a e-text section here. Some people are textbook users. If you like using a textbook, you can access the e-library over here on e-text. Next week, we're going to be doing chapter 1 and covering all this stuff, but it loads it up. It's not very download friendly, but it does give you something you can click through the screens and learn if you are a textbook user. The other option is multimedia library. This can be handy if you don't want to watch a whole lecture video, but you want to learn how to do a specific task. Like let's say we're in chapter 5 and we're doing something in 5.4 and you're like, I don't want to watch a whole lecture video, just show me the StatCrunch example again. You can come here and watch examples. Like, let's see that one. Really, it only says by hand. Thanks. That's not helpful. Really? Oh, I guess probability is not a good section because a lot of it is by hand. Let's come down to another section and do one there. You watch the example video and it'll say, which one do you want to do? Are you trying to do it on a calculator? I don't recommend a calculator. We're using StatCrunch, so I'll click on StatCrunch and it gives me a short video to watch. Let's see, how long is it? 2 minutes. 2 minutes, 20 seconds to watch the video on how to do it in StatCrunch. So you can get refreshers on how to do the StatCrunch stuff there. And that's kind of it for MyMathLab. Let me head back to Canvas. Almost done. I know it's been a long night. So after you've enrolled, you can access your homework over here with MyMathLab. I took out I need to edit this. I had optional ones in there. I think they threw off more students than they hoped. The optional ones is like doing the e-text right now. It was designed to walk you through problems, and more people spent time doing those, which was frustrating because they're slow than doing the homework. The next page here is access to the syllabus. There's other ways to get the syllabus, as I'll show you in a second. The syllabus kind of says everything we've said here, down to office hours, where you can find me, stuff like that. My policies, how you can get a hold of me. It talks about the grading scale. Homework is 20%. The midterm is 30%. And we will have 2.5 hours to do it, unless you have something from the AAC that allows you additional time. You'll need to let me know. I've had one student already let me know, gave me their AAC paperwork showing that they got additional time. And if I don't get the paperwork, I can't really help you because I don't know. So do that. If you have AAC, let me know before like the day of the exam. Don't pull some that makes it hard on me. Don't be mean to me. 20% on homework, 30% on the midterm. Project is worth 20%, and the final is worth 30%. Something I like doing for my classes is leveling up. I play D&D, I play video games, characters level up. You can too in my class. If you like playing video games, hopefully this means something to you. For each of the exams, the midterm and the final, at the start of the exam, I am going to download all of the scores in MyMathLab so that I have something to check. If you have done at least 70% of the homework assignments for the chapters by the midterm that are on the midterm, you will level up. Each level you get is worth 2% extra credit. Not 2 points, 2%. That can be a good bump, and the effects are cumulative. For any test that you've leveled up on, you get the points at that level. If you do 70% of the homework or more, preferably more, preferably 90% or more, but 70% or more of the homework the entire way on time, rather than getting 2%, which would be 4%, I will give you 5% extra credit on the final. I don't have a problem. I'm kind of tempted. I really am kind of tempted. I might even think about this. I might edit this. I might make it 5% or 4%, and 10%. Give you 10% extra credit on the final if you've done. I'm thinking about it. Don't say hold me on this. I need to think about it. If you get 70% of the homework done, you'll get extra credit. The reason why I offer this is because students that do the homework almost never need the extra credit, to be honest. Every once in a while, a student that has done all the homework can use the extra credit. Oh, I have something else I want to show you in MyMathLab. I'll get back to that in a second. So you can level up, and leveling up means extra credit on your test. Standard grading things, that insert that you could download on the other pages here. It's got the schedules, colors for the dates. You can see the drop date, final drop date, stuff like that. There's a nice, pretty colored version with colors on it in the syllabus, with all the stuff. And then after this, I'll close that. After this section, you're going to have a quiz. I recommend you read through it. If you download the syllabus, you can reference the syllabus while you're taking the quiz. But the syllabus is going to prompt you to student view. It's going to say, in fact, you can see that syllabus is here again in case you missed it the other times. There's 8 questions worth 2 questions each. How can I view the lecture content? And it gives you options to choose. When is homework due? You can go through and choose the options. I have said most of this stuff in the video that we're doing right now. It's also in the syllabus. It's also in the modules. So there's lots of ways to answer this quiz. The reason why I do it is I have this quiz here. It doesn't really do a lot, but it makes sure you understand what's going on in this class. I get students all the time. I don't understand. I don't understand what's going on because they didn't take the time to read the syllabus. Teachers make syllabus, not for us, it's for you. Hopefully you read it. You only got to read it once, and most of the stuff we've already done. After that, when you submit the quiz, I think you can take it up to 3 times if you don't get the score you want the first time. You will be done with this orientation module. So the module is here. It's just these things. This stuff needs to be done by next Tuesday. The introduce yourself needs to be done by tomorrow night. Okay. I will also be making another YouTube playlist. Like we have a playlist. I will be making a playlist for our semester as well. It'll say Math 21 Stats Fall 2022 videos. And as we do the videos this semester, if students are coming to the synchronous course or synchronous optional part, we'll upload them here. So you have access to them. Oh, other things I want to show you in MathLab. This is pretty important. I'm going to sign in my regular way because I don't remember what my Iron Man shit was. Oh, it's still got me logged in. Excellent. So, some options you have in MyMathLab. This is in some of the other videos I have as well, but Help Me Solve This is going to walk you through how to do this problem with these very numbers. It'll prompt you, what's this step? What's this step? And it'll guide you how to do it. If you use Help Me Solve This, when you're done, you won't get credit for that question. You'll have to do the question again. If you do view an example, you can look at the example while you're doing it. Notice the example has different numbers. This says n equals 12, x is less than 4, or n equals 12, p is 0.45. The original question has n equals 7, p equals 0.5. It will walk you through how to do the problem. Sometimes it does it by hand when it's tedious as hell. View an example can be helpful, but if they want you to do it by hand, you're going to make it really hard, some of it really hard for you. Probability needs to be done by hand. This formula doesn't. Chapter 5 is a lot of doing stuff by hand. Chapter 6, I almost said something else. That would have been bad. Chapter 6 and 7 uses the software, and I show you how to do without the software. Look at that horrible equation. Look at that. Isn't that terrible? That's how you have to do it by hand. Or when you use the computer, you plug in N, you plug in X, and you plug in P, and it does this entire equation for you. Don't do this shit by hand. But if you, so view an example can be really helpful. Sometimes it's just like, I don't even know what they're asking here. Let me see what they're doing. If I click continue, watch, they'll prompt me through it. They're going to show steps on how to do it. Like, okay, X is less than 4 means 3 or 2 or 1 or 0. And then it doesn't show you the technology, but it says, okay, if I do the one with 3, I get this number right here. If I do the one with 2, I get this number. It'll walk you through like the process. And a lot of students like using this, and it's good to use. The problem comes if you become to rely on it too much. I have had students get 100% on their homework, or like 90% on their homework, do really well on their homework, get to the test, and they can't do anything on the test because there is no view and example on the test. And they're only used to doing the problems with the view and example. So, if you're using view and example a lot and you find that you are, or it's complicated, once you've gone through the problem, you've done the answer, it'll say good job, congratulations, and it will give you two options: do a new problem or go to the next question. I recommend doing a new problem if you've been using view and example a lot. That way, try to do it again, the same problem with different numbers, but without viewing an example, and see if you learned how to do it. If you can't do it without viewing an example, you didn't really learn how to do it. You kind of just like, it's like using tracing paper. Do they even have tracing paper anymore? They must. Where it's like super thin and you put it over the picture and you draw the picture underneath. That's kind of like what this is. If you're using the view and example too much, without it's become so much of a crutch that you won't learn how to do it without it. So you should definitely watch for that. But those are the examples. Help me solve this view and example. If you click Ask My Instructor on a StatCrunch problem, or not a StatCrunch, a MyMathLab problem, Ask My Instructor, check out what happens. It's going to send me an email, and it'll say who it's from. It'll tell me which section, which question it is. If it's got multiple parts or something like that, let me know. I'm stuck on part D. I don't really know what it's asking. Or I got this answer and I'm not sure why it's wrong. Now, the reason why I'm showing you this because I want you to see what I get on my end. I'm going to send it and we're going to go check out my email. For now, just remember n equals 7, p equals 0.5. Let's go look at my email. Tony Stark sent me a question, ask my instructor. So I click on it, and it gives me a link. It tells me what your question is, what you typed. And when I click on the link, it gives me the exact numbers you're working with. MyMathLab has like 30, 40 versions of each question. That way they can give different questions to each student and different questions each time you do it. So if I don't know which numbers you're working with, it's kind of hard to answer a math questions without having the right numbers. If you use Ask My Instructor, it sends me the question exactly as you have it. Okay? So that's a reason for using that. Did I leave anything else open? Yeah, there we go. Close that one. And you can always exit out of MyMathLab and always come back to it as I showed you doing Exit. Where is my class? I closed my Canvas class. That's a fail. I'm going to do, click on the other one real quick. So Zoom room link takes you to the office hours or this class. Discord, join with Discord students. FA's videos is the link to the previous videos. I see something in chat. Basis, yes. I'm going to be doing them on Tuesdays and Thursdays. You do not have to attend. If you want to attend and sit in on the lecture and ask questions, this gives you a way to ask questions interactively during the actual lecture, which is really helpful. A lot of students like it. But you do not have to attend the Zoom meetings weekly. It's optional. Ask the chat question. You have access to MyMathLab. Grades, I'm going to be putting everything in at the end of the semester. There's some other helpful stuff like the COS MathLab videos. Let's come take a look at that. If you're fuzzy, you need some reminders. This is even good for the students that are going to be doing the extra support course. You need reminders of how to work with decimals, how to round, how to do multiplication, addition with decimals. We are going to be doing fractions, probabilities a lot with fractions. The first, like all the way up to like percentages of a number, everything from here on up, these are all helpful skills that you're going to use in this class. We're assuming if you're not in the support course, you already know how to do these. Other stuff after it is algebra. We're going to actually do some basic equations, so it might be worth checking out that too. You can also see videos from instructors. My videos are listed here. George Woodbury is a co-author on the book. He's got videos for chapters 1 through 7, not the later half of the course. But there's video content from COS on the COS website that you can access through the COS MathLab videos that you might find helpful. There's algebra. Professor Leonard has stuff on stats and stuff too. He doesn't do StatCrunch, so it's less helpful, but some people like him. So there's a lot of things here to access. Syllabus, if you click on syllabus, it shows a link to the syllabus right away, so you don't have to go looking for it. Syllabus has the syllabus. It has the due dates as well, so you can, and the due dates in the calendar. So if you want to quick find due dates and calendar, come here to syllabus. It's also got due dates listed below for other stuff. Why this is showing this stuff, that's old stuff. It shouldn't be on there. I need to delete it out somehow. I don't know why it's on there. That's it for the normal courses. If you're the course that has a support course, stick around. If you've got questions, let's check on if there's any questions before I go into the support course stuff. In fact, if you're fuzzy on the support course, if you're fuzzy on decimals and stuff like that, and you want to voluntarily do the support course stuff, it's free. It's in Khan Academy. You can stick around as well. You'll have to email me and let me know. I am not in the support course, but I want to do Khan Academy. Please send me a link. I don't see anything in chat. If you are typing a question, I'll pause what I'm doing and answer it. For the students that are in the support course, you have an additional thing right here, the Math 321 support coursework. It says it's free on Khan Academy. I want you to sign up by next Tuesday. If you sign up after Tuesday, on like Wednesday morning, I'm going to go in and give due dates for everything. There won't be due dates for anything until that time because it allows me to do all the students that are in the program at one time, and it takes a while to assign all the due dates. And if a student is late and they're not on the list and I have to go in and do it again, it takes me just as long to do it again. There's no quick way to add students to the due dates. So if you are in the support course and you do it after my 1 week cap from this, and I have to do the dates again for you, I'm going to take 5% off your grade. Please don't do it. Please have your stuff done before then. You're free to use a calculator in any of these assignments, no matter which class it is. The support course has a lot of stuff in it. If you go to Khan Academy, it gives you an option to join. Sign up with email. Let's see, what did I say? Ironman Fall 2020. I definitely want that version as a student. Use your name again here too, please. Let's see, I just need one that works. That should have all the requisite stuff. Okay. That will have done it. You are in this course. When you do that, after a week has popped up, you click on courses. Oh, no, we don't want that. I guess I have to click it. That's not what I wanted. When you do it, it'll get it. Where is it? Teachers. I think it's just not showing anything yet because I haven't assigned any projects. You're gonna have to, once you sign up, it's gonna take some time. Like next Wednesday, I'm gonna go through and populate all the due dates and stuff. And most of the stuff you're gonna need is by the time of the midterm. And if we come back and look at the midterm, when we're doing the midterm, it starts on October 6th. It's due on October 11th. I will be like the class on October 6th. I will sit in the synchronous Zoom thing Thursday night during the midterm, in case you're like logging in and are working on your midterm at that time and have questions. You'll be able to pop in and ask me a question. I'll be available. So, but by then, like pretty much everything you need in the support course, you'll need to have everything done in the support course. October 6th is 6 weeks away, something like that, 7 weeks. Ooh, check question. The support course is only mandatory if you signed up for it. Most people didn't. If you are in statistics 16030 or statistics 17148, that is not mandatory. You won't even see the option to take it. There is no Khan Academy. Shit, it's grayed out because it's grayed out. You can't see it from a student view. Where's student view? If you are in 1630 or 17148, you can't even see the Khan Academy stuff. So if you don't see it, it does not apply to you. If you do see it, it does apply to you, and you do need to do it. It's for the Math 321 course. So I'll go back over to that real quick. You can see the syllabus for the 321 course right here. You will have known if you've enrolled in the 321. If you see this, whatever. What is going to be in that support course? Working with decimals, working with fractions, working with percentages, how to switch back and forth between them, how to do a little bit of some algebra stuff, because we do some basic algebra, some little up to like doing a line, how to do lines, in algebra. We will cover, like, it's pre-algebra up to like a few chapters. If you haven't done any math for a while, but you placed into the class without a support course and you want a refresher, you can always sign up. Email me before next Wednesday and say you want to sign up for the Khan Academy, and I'll enroll you in it as well. You also can check out the math skills reviews if you want to try that before then. These are going to be a lot shorter. Let's see.
Hello everybody, this is Paul. Thank you for watching today's video tutorial.
Okay, I think I've covered everything. Remember, if you don't know how to get a hold of me, you can email me. You can always check the modules. And where does it say it? Zoom hours, coursework, and calendar of dates. This has everything, like a good summary of everything. The next tab is the MyMathLab. This will remind you how to text me. If you do text me, let me know who it is. You know everybody gets like fucking callers about, your car warranty has expired. F you, I don't have a car warranty, get off my phone. But if you say, hey, this is, Emmanuel, I'm in your stats class. I'm working on this problem. Do you have a minute? If you're like wanting to task me right there, you can always ask, are you free right now? And I'll let you know right away whether I am or not. I do have hours in MyMathLab. It's not the summer tutoring schedule. Fall tutoring schedule. Oh, cancel. I do not want to mess up my video. Nope. Leave it alone. Let me go back. Let's see. What is it saying? Okay, you can ask a quick question on it. They haven't uploaded the faculty when they're on there. I will make an announcement saying what hours I am in the MyMathLab or the online math lab for COS. You can also go to over in person if you're on campus. There's a math in the Visalia campus in Tulare also. It's in the library. It's in the back of the library in the Visalia one. In the Tulare, it's on the second floor on the left. And you just ask anyone where's the math lab, and they'll be able to tell you. Hanford, I haven't been to that math lab, so I don't know. They do have hours for in person even on Saturday in Visalia. So if you want to go see a tutor in person on Saturday from 10 to 2, you can do that. And I will post my online Zoom hours when I'm going to be on there in a while. They should be adding the faculty teachers here in a bit. Any questions? I feel like I've talked a lot. It's 8:26. I'll be here till 8:30 if you guys come up with any questions. After I close the Zoom, it will take a while for Zoom to make it so I can link the video. But when I have a link to tonight's video, I will post it in announcements. You guys should check announcements a lot. Because, some of you found them today already. That's how you got here. After the first week where we're not doing the stuff in modules, I'm probably going to make this syllabus tab the home page. Let's see what the student view is. So this will probably be the home page as a reminder. Maybe I'll put a link in this page to the Zoom office hours bit. Zoom hours, coursework, calendar dates, because students might find that helpful. Other than that, I look forward to being your instructor this semester. Please, if you need help, you ask. Please ask. If you can, show up to these synchronous Zoom things so you can ask questions there. Students are always so hesitant to ask a question in person classes and in Zoom classes. I never was. When I was a student, I asked questions, and I can't tell you how many times I got thanked by students, other students in the class, for asking a question. For me asking a question. They wanted to know the answer, but they were too embarrassed to raise their hand. Hopefully, no one's judging you. If someone's judging you in the class for asking a lot of questions, they're probably not worth being your friend, anyways. I'm not going to judge you for asking a lot of questions. I encourage questions. Uh, and I'm available to meet on weekends and stuff like that. This first week, like I said, my mom she's going to be passing away in the next few days. So I'm going to be pretty, like, less hours this first week, but for most of the semester, if you need to meet on the weekend and I'm not busy, I will be happy to make an appointment to meet with you on Zoom to help. Martha, you do not, and anybody that is curious, you do not have to attend Zoom meetings on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I will record everything from it. This is for students that like attending the classes to listen to the teacher and ask questions. I will upload all of the videos. You already have access to videos already. If you click on Hefe's videos, go to playlist, come over to, I would do the spring 2022 video content for the entire semester.
Hey everyone.
If anybody's played Dark Souls, you'll recognize that background right there. The entire semester, all the way up to chapter 13, even a review for the final. So, I have full lecture content already available. You do not need to come to Zoom. I repeat, you do not need to come to Zoom. It's only if you want to. Okay? And then if less than 5 students do it weekly, I'll just shift it to like extended office hours. Because I know everyone's got their own schedule. I know when you signed up, it didn't say anything about synchronous or class Zoom meetings that you had to attend. These are all optional. It's me trying to help students. I'm going the extra mile. Other teachers don't do this. Most teachers don't do this. I want to help the students that want a online experience, be able to ask questions with the instructor, and work during the day, and their only time to do stuff is at night. This is to help students like that. These synchronous hours. It's optional. I want you guys to all succeed. I want you to pass. I'll tell you right now, this is true stories, facts. There is a fire chief and a fire captain in Tulare that have both taken statistics with me and algebra with me. And they took my algebra. This is good stuff. They took my algebra class and they came up the first day after my little like spiel. I did the slides and stuff. They were not in their firefighter clothes. They just came up. They said, we wanted to let you know we worked together. We worked 72-hour shifts. We worked different shifts. So if one of us is absent, the other one's taking notes and stuff. We just wanted to let you know. And they said, we're terrified of mathematics. And I said, really, what do you do that takes 72 hours? Or you're on call for 72 hours? I'm thinking, what, are you guys like doctors or some shit like that? No, we're firefighters. And I said, oh, shit. Well, first off, let's talk about, thank you. Thank you for being firefighters. What you do is incredibly brave and is needed. And second off, let's talk about terror. You should not be terrified of mathematics. You fools run into burning buildings. The 2 firefighters have ended up being some of the best students I've ever had. In the top 10 of all my students that I've ever taught in any subject. They went the extra mile to learn everything. They asked me lots of questions. I even got to go to the fire stations of each of them, have dinner with the fire crew, and Let me come over here and show it to you. This is fun. This is, let me stop share so it shows the picture. I gotta do stop blurring. Nah. I have me an honorary firefighter helmet, David Jones, COS, and if I get real close, that symbol is pi from like circles and stuff. And apparently it's like $125 or something like that. It's got pi to like 1 billion places on it, digitally encoded. Yeah. I have a student that's on the police force right now. I've had a student that's working at NASA right now. And I'm always out to help everybody. Let me know what I can do for you. Other than that, I'm done. Thank you for coming. And the